Hello, I'm MK Davis. We'll talk a little bit about the Patterson film, and in particular, I want to talk about the early part of the filming. And we're just going to go frame by frame. These images were taken using a microscope and a Canon SLR camera. And they were taken from John Green's copy of the film, which it's not a first-gen copy, but it's pretty good, and I think you'll see that. But first, this is like the earliest part, and a lot of times the frame would be so smeared that you couldn't see anything, and then other times embedded in all that will be great images. It starts with this. Up on a hillside. Can't really see anything. Again, must be something there. And here starts, you actually, is so smeared, I think this is her lower half right there. There you see her again right there. Oh, right. That's a pretty good one. I always said that I thought she looked like she was walking along looking for arrowheads. It reminded me of people that pursue that hobby. They go out in a field, plowed field, and walk along there with their head down. But not the case here, but it reminded me of that. Smeared again. We're going to see if we see anything that can tell us anything about whether this thing is natural or wearing a suit. Alright, that's pretty good. Walking along kind of slow, you see a track right there. Foot bent up. Heel lifted. Toes lifted. Notice that the sand looks white, but it's not white. It's actually kind of a blue or blue-gray. And when it gets wet, it's almost dark. It's shale sand. In the copying process, you copy the whites get whiter and darks get darker, and they call that building contrast. And it does do that. Now this right here is that log jam that's above this red hole. All right. My dog's laying at my feet. All right. There's another piece of the log jam. It's kind of smeared a little bit, but you can tell what it is. All right. There's the red hole. Hey, look, it's amazing. No type of enhancement, no type of anything done to it. It's still red. You know, I don't know what people think about researching or about just an inquiring mind, but why would a person not be allowed to ask questions about this? That's not what you normally find. This is the first idea that I had that there was something there unusual. Was in this frame right here. All right, there she is right there. All stretched and skewed. Uh-oh, trying to come back in now. Maybe she will. That's her right here. Look how broad she is across the back. That would not only be a suit. If it were to be a suit, it would not only be bulky, but it would be hard to walk in it. It's huge. There we go. You see the muscles? Look at the odd S shape her body is contorted into. Now this is be the hollow of the back, the spine. Somebody was saying one time years ago, another person claiming it was a hoax said that was a zipper. Okay, let's see. They still swear that. Now the camera person was pretty shaky at this point. All right, look at that. Once again, you can see this broad back. It's not completely square, but you can tell that it's pretty big. Look at this right here. Something really large is in its left hand or left side. I say hand, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the hand. It can be have a lanyard or cord or rope suspending it off the neck, and that's what I think that it is. Now, this one right here is pretty good, and I've got some Chrome images of this that are much better than this even. But that's got the hollow cupped palm, which is indicative of an ancient person. I think I've gone over that before, but they now know that these fossils and stuff that they find in the caves and the like, the palms are kind of curved. Let's see if I can get that in front of there. There we go. Like that. And you'll see it right there. Hope you see that this right here is not, the white on the foot is not because it's actually white. It's because that it's got material on it. And this, it's not this material because it's actually blue. A shale sand don't stick, not dry sand, don't stick too bad at all. It's not even round. I've looked at it under a microscope. It's little platelets, and it bears weight very well. This goes up around the ankle right here. It's stepped in something. I know about what it is, but it's speculation. But my idea is that it's lime, quicklime. Look at the size of the foot. Let's go back. And how would you like her kicking your winning field goal? There is the division on the buttocks, which people complained about that she had none. Why do they get to even have an opinion? You're that wrong? They move on to another opinion? After a while you would kind of think, well, maybe this person shouldn't be doing this. There's some more. See it? Division there. They call these the glutes, and with an E, or the gluteus maximus. Let me lower this down some. All right. All right, kind of loses it right there, and it's got a lot to do more with sun angle. It comes back. There you go. See it good right there. You get, anytime you get bright colors or bright tones against a darker tone, and there's movement, it impinges a lot of time. You see where it's impinged? There you go. That's a good one right there. Gorillas don't have that. It's no, other than hair, there's no reason to believe this is a gorilla. It's got a lot more going for it as a person, although very, very odd. Like I said, perhaps an ancient person. Something falls away from the left foot. I don't know the reasons why. Maybe it stepped on a stick that popped up or something. Take a look. Go backwards a little bit. Now watch when I go forward. There it is. Just continuing to fall. Right there. There it is, right, falling away from the foot. And then it's gone. Don't know what that was. Starts to get very, very shaky again. See the colors back there. They're not fall colors. This is not red. It's dead. It's dead leaves. It's got yellow in it. Withered. Show some more of it. Where's Patty? Somewhere. I think I see her right in there, don't I? Yep, there she is. That's her back. We were talking about this huge, look at the shoulders. Wow. Look at this. She's standing upright, partially behind this tree right here. The hair is much thicker right in here, and it's less penetration of sunlight. Look how broad that back is. Now she's virtually in the tree line, across the way there from the red pool. You can see her pretty good there, well focused. You start to see some separation right there on the glutes again. There, look at that. Pretty good. You can tell that it's not a pillow. That it's whoever made if this was to be a suit, they made two halves right there, and they move against one another. Pretty amazing. I don't think you'd want her stepping on your toe. You can see kind of rolls of flap right there. The sunlight is different from the second walk sequence, which is at a different angle. There you can see that hair is pretty thick right in there, directly down her neck to her shoulders. Arms coming off. Wow. See how thick that hair is coming down off the back of the head? Look at the division there on the gluteus maximus. You can see right there where the hair's been worn off from scooting around on your rear end. It tells you a little bit of lifestyle there. Somebody made a suit, they said, well, let's just make this suit with the hair worn off. Right there up the butt crack. No, that didn't take place. So now you can see it good right there in adjacent frames. There she is standing up right there. Pretty good image of her directly from behind. The camera person is at a slightly lower elevation than she is. She's up on a higher spot. All right, she's starting to go over. She's no longer standing straight up. She's almost down on all fours. All right. Now this one right here, this frame right here, has some significance because the angle is such that you can actually, she's what you would call mooning the camera. For whatever reason, she's fallen over, and she's either on all fours or very near it. And you can see, right up that gluteus maximus right there. This is her back. Let's just take this one. All right. We try auto process. See what that does for it. Not much. It's about as good as it gets anyway. Okay, we'll cancel that. Let's do a filtration. Okay. This is all the information that the computer would need to print with, and these would be the tones that are dark enough that they would be just printed with black ink. But I'm going to tone it down some because oftentimes it sharpens it. Okay. This is her right arm. This is right leg, left leg, the back goes this way. She's still bent over, it's the same picture. But you start to see this. Something between the legs. Let's see. That's not very useful. This is, though. This would be yellow. Not too useful. That right there looks like there's something there. That would be magenta. Oh, wrong one. Alright, so little, I can see it between the legs right there. That's the butt. But let's go back to this one again, which I undid it what I did, so I have to do it again. Alright, let's go to cyan. That's interesting there. Boost contrast. Magenta cyan. Okay. Let me go right here. I'll cut that and overlay it back on the original. Alright. Make it semi-transparent. Alright. Alright, let's take a look at that and see if we've helped it any in sharpening using filtration. I'm going to restore some of the color if I can. Alright, there you go. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. If you take your eyes off of it, you'll find yourself hard to get back on it again sometimes because it's got some blurring and streaking. But this, she's almost completely bent over. This is the waist right here. This is the buttocks. This right leg, rear leg, left leg, right arm. This would be the back of the head. And this looking up right between that stuff. That's what I'm interested in, what's in between the legs. There you go. Now look, let me just draw a line to it. All right. Bobby Short sent this frame off to her doctor, and her doctor says that it was something along the lines of an anal problem. Not vaginal, but anal, like a hemorrhoid. See it right here, up between the legs. Now, I don't know. You have to take what a film gives you. This gives you that. It lets you know there's something there. Right there. That is along the lines of natural. And then it smears again and it's gone. And that's the end of the first walk sequence. The first walk sequence is the next time you see her, she will not be here. She will be up on the sandbar, headed upstream. Beginning walk sequence 2. There she is, out on the sandbar, walking upstream. Just a lot of action there. We're trying to reposition. There's that log. There she is, all stretched out and skewed. And a little better. And this is when she turns around to look back at the two men the first time. Now, you may not have known that, but there were 2 times in the film. One time picked it up very well, and the other time not so well. That's this one. But you can still tell that the arch of her shoulders and back are going perpendicular. There, she's turned around to look. There you go. Look how good that picture is. You can see the skin through the hair with no enhancement whatsoever, including the glutes and all of such things. Watch this. Copy. Oh. There's a new image. All right. Let's just see, by boosting contrast, if we can see those glutes better. Well, look at there. That looks so natural. It looks so natural that you almost can't call it a hoax, even if you wanted to. Look at the muscles rippling along the back. The glutes having a division between them. You got to go with authentic here. You know, at what point do you decide to quit pursuing an agenda and start talking about the truth? Let's go. stepping on that stick, famous stick that's on the sand. Chris Murphy has that stick. Or he did. That's a pretty good look at the back right there. Let's just see what. What do you see that indicates a hoax? Actually, you can see the hairstyle. That's why this hair was so thick going down the back of the neck, because you can see that it's pulled back right there. And I've got much better images of the hairstyle. We'll get to it another time. I'll tell you what Bob told me. Bob Gimlin, that is. He says that she had hair like that of an Indian. Okay, well, that's hair like that of an Indian. Sure, not all Indians, but some. Look at that back. It's enormous and muscular. There you go. Wow. There's your hair again. Let's go. Edit, paste. All right. Hey. All right. There's that hair. See it? Well, on we go. Oh, we're going to session number 2. It was taken in 2 sessions. We got to get past this. As she turns around for the second time. Hope I'm not boring you. Alright. That sharpens it enough. I don't know what I've done here. I've got several good angles on this. Okay, you can see the areolas on her breasts. Areolas and nipples. How did that happen? Well, and I've got 3 or 4 different frames that you can see them on. And then she turns around, never to turn back again. If you watch carefully, you'll see she's still carrying that large object. That's it right there. That's it right there. On her left side. See it go with her? Alright, you can actually get it and see it a little better. It's about the size of a baseball catcher's mitt. See it right there? Here we go. Right there. Uh-oh, it jumped. Why did it do that? Hold on. And that's it right in there. Right there. What is it? A lot of theories, but I don't know why a hoaxer would be wanting to carry something large like that and let it get picked up on film. There it is right there. You see it go with her. There it goes behind the tree with her. It's gone. Well, I think I'm going to stop right there. Let's just say a few final words. I call this a hoax. That's when somebody actually tries to hoax a hoax. in order to discredit something that's real. And that's what you're seeing here. And I hope the film was able to make its own statement, maybe to some degree, but I'm not done with it. This is just one little small folder amongst many, many. And when I say that this is not something someone hoaxed, I'm not saying it with nothing to back it up. Now, whatever happened down there at Bluff Creek, I think is the key. Because when it's all said and done, they want to be out from under the pall of that event. And that's how you do it, is to say the whole thing wasn't nothing but ooey. We were just having fun. There was no fun that day at Bluff Creek. I thank you for your time.